The Smart McCleskey, Ocean City Beach Patrol, 1971 and 1976. And I'm here today with Bill Wise, who was on the Beach Patrol back in 1962. And we are doing another alumni interview. Bill, tell us just a little bit about when you started the Beach Patrol and the time and all that went on during that period of time.
I started July the 11th, 1962. I had become friends over the years with the Parson brothers up around 3rd Street, and they were instrumental in me wanting to take the test. So when the time came and one of the brothers called my house and got my mother and said that they were going to test the next day, was I interested? She had me on the Trailways bus, and I was down here by 11:30 in the morning because I had to be up at 7th Street at 7 o'clock. I mean, at 12 o'clock, I'm sorry. And it's my first introduction to Captain Robert Craig.
And also Vic Sprecher.
Well, that was the following year.
Okay, the following year, okay.
63, I met Vic.
And as we know, Vic Sprecher has been a major influence and component and getting our reunions and all that he's done with that. So we all know and love Vic.
Yeah.
Also, I would like to ask a couple more questions. What was your most? Can you remember your one of your rescues or one of the most memorable rescues that have happened?
I think the first rescue that I did was at the inlet. That's where I was put that afternoon. I took a test in the morning and or noontime, and by 1:30, 2 o'clock, I was on the rocks. And somewhere in those few weeks, I made a rescue, and we were taken around into the inlet. And it was pretty terrifying for a kid that had just finished his sophomore year of high school.
Wow, and how old were you?
About 16.
16,
Yeah,
wow.
16.
You know, must have been a very mature 16-year-old.
Yeah, I think I was. I mean,
You would
I
have
was.
to be.
Yeah, I had, a lot. Yeah, I think so.
Very cool. And being on the rocks that's like our toughest beach.
Yeah, it was. Now they put you there because you have to know what you're doing.
Right.
Back then they put you there because they didn't know what to do with you.
Right, exactly. Now, Bill, I want to ask you some more questions. I know that you are currently involved with the Ocean City Beach Patrol. I know that you're doing a lot of volunteer work, and I know I see you there all the time. I mean, you put a lot of time in that. Tell us all a little bit about how you got back involved with the Ocean City Beach Patrol doing this volunteer work.
All right, I'm gonna go back to 1965, and that was my last full summer. I started the Maryland Institute College of Art in the fall of '65. I didn't like it. It wasn't me. Then the war was breaking out. Vietnam War was breaking out, and
What year was that?
1965.
Got it. Okay.
And it was starting, and a lot of my friends were joining the Marine Corps. So somewhere along that winter, thought that'd be a good idea. So I did, and I ended up in Vietnam. Captain Craig had not heard from me with the little postcards I sent out, so he contacted my mother, and she told him my story, where I was and what I was doing, and he was just, in awe. He didn't know what to say. And so as soon as I got back, I had a message to get in touch with him from my mom. So I did, and he invited me to come down to Ocean City for a weekend with him.
I'd like to interrupt you just for a second, Bill, and just talk about Captain Bob Craig for a little bit. He was such a special man and reached out to everybody and was there. He was almost like he was our father.
Yes.
And so anyway, go ahead.
So, it was, coming back, back then, coming home, you really weren't welcomed. Today it's a little different, and I understand that, and I don't hold any animosity to these guys, because they certainly have put their lives on the line, and many have died. I think we're all brothers. and sisters. But Captain Craig wanted to talk to me and try to get inside my head and see where I was because of everything that had happened. And so he asked if I'd be interested in coming back to do a lot of fill-in lunches or whatever. And I said, well, I had a job waiting for me at the Baltimore Sun. And so we talked about it, and I started my job. And when I did, I asked my immediate supervisor, I told him my story, and he said, well, you have vacation time, you have personal days, you have this and that and this and that, make them work. So that's what I did. And through the 60s, the rest of the 60s into the 70s, pretty much in a little bit of the 80s, I was in and out of Ocean City doing this.
So you were all during these decades, you were coming back to Ocean City and doing and working on Ocean City Beach Patrol. So what were the years that you actually, what were the years you worked?
Well, I came back around, with Captain Craig, it was probably I had gotten hurt and I was in the hospital, and that's why, and I got out. Back then the enlistments weren't the 3-year enlistments because of the war.
But I mean, how many times were you on the beach patrol on the stand?
Well, I did a lot of lunches, so I was on a lot of stands.
Oh, so you came back and you were a rover, and you did
you were doing
the
exactly
lunch,
right.
What we called the sandwich circuit. Very good. And so also today, currently, I noticed that for the last probably 2 years, I see you all dressed up in our current uniforms, very much like the one I'm wearing right now. Tell me about your duties, what you do for the Beach Patrol.
We have the testings 3-4 times a year. I'm involved in the testing program. I'm involved in outreach. During the winter, I do a lot of.
That's where they go and they test in different swimming pools, right?
No, that's part of our testing program.
What is the outreach?
Outreach would be setting up a table at, say, swim meets or
marketing.
Well, yeah, it'd be marketing. Be selling your product.
Okay.
To try to get
very cool.
New employees.
Okay.
For the company, so to speak.
Marketing.
Right.
Got it. Very good. Very good. Now, but I noticed that when I'm down here and I'm wandering about Division Street, and especially the old Beach Patrol headquarters, I see you standing out front, and you're very involved in the testing and all that. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Okay. Well, I'm there from the very first when they test. I'm there when they come back in the spring. Say we test in August. They come back in the spring to check in. I'm there to welcome them. Where they have to go and what they're doing, and then I follow them pretty much through their journey through the SRT Academy, and then graduation. And then it's amazing to see these young people. And not all of them are young. We had a 50-year-old last year, and he did
very
pass.
Impressive.
It was very impressive. And but to see these kids develop into a young woman and a young man, and at a very quick pace.
Now, do you follow them? Do you keep tabs on them and see what beaches they're on? And follow their because I know that. What we see happening today in today's, they're like all the corporate worlds that America's in today. I know that the Beach Patrol has followed that, and Captain Butch has done a good job keeping up with that. But I noticed that they're very hard on them the first year, their rookie year, and they get demerits and stuff like that. And so do you ever counsel with them?
I do. I not on a level where you would do it so that everybody in the world knows that you're
behind the scenes, back channel, right?
I think so.
And do you also give recommendations and thought processes to the lieutenants and sergeants and Captain Butch?
We talk,
and they listen to you because they know you have the depth and the history.
Well, I think so. I know. I know Ryan Cowder asked me last year. He wanted to know a Captain Craig story, but I mean, you're accepted. I feel very accepted.
Accepted and respected.
I hope so.
Well, good.
I mean,
very good. Well, we're going to wrap this up right now. Is there anything that you would like to add before we close?
I want to thank Captain Butch Arvin for giving me the opportunity to do what I'm doing now at this time in my life. It's not many guys that are almost 70 years old that can be involved and feel young, and which I do. I'm in no way ready to hang it up.
You look great. You're older than me, and you look a lot better than me. I can tell you that right now.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. And Captain Butch is totally awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's my
hero. Good man.
My hero. Well, I would like to close this interview with a special a gift from Colonel Andrade, and in Brazil we call him Colonel Andrade. He is the Colonel Andrade was invited here by Captain Butch and the mayor of Ocean City to go through our SRT training 2 years ago, and I remember that you were looking for these patches, and I went back and told Colonel Andrade about that, and these are personal gifts from Colonel Andrade, the commander of the largest beach patrol on the planet. They have 350 miles of shoreline, 1,500 guards in the stand, and about 50 officers. So here they are. This is the patch that they wear. One patch, it says Bombardo, which means fire department, and I'll give that to you. And this is the other patch that they wear on their shoulders, which is the state of Rio de Janeiro. This is Mark McCleskey.
Thank you very much.
Ocean City Beach Patrol, 1971 to 76. Thank you for being here with the Ocean City Beach Patrol alumni fan page.